second semifinal matchup in the Missouri Class 6 District 6 baseball tournament. This second matchup will feature the Ozark Tigers and the Nixa Eagles. We'd like to extend a public welcome to our guests from Nixa and Ozark. Welcome to the Eagles and Tigers players, coaches, and fans. We're glad to have you here this evening. We're really pleased to be hosting the Class 6 District 6 baseball tournament.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here from Republic High School. It's the second game of this district tournament here. Winner of this game between the Nixa Eagles and the Ozark Tigers will play the Republic Tigers, as they were able to defeat the Kickapoo Chiefs 3-2 earlier in this afternoon. So now it's on to the late game. The backyard brawl between Nixa and Ozark gets a second installation this year. Nixa was able to win at home 6-0 against them, but don't let that score fool you. It was a really close game going down to the wire. It was 1-0 going into the bottom of the sixth inning. Eagles were able to take part in a 5-run bottom of the sixth inning, fueled by a couple of Ozark errors. And this Ozark Tigers team has done a really nice job here at limiting the errors in the past couple of games, able to get a nice one against Rockbridge and a few other wins that have been able to pull this game. They were able to really pull together, and the second half of the season has been a lot better. Ozark comes in as the 3-seeded team of the 8 teams in the Class 6 District 6 tournament. And so far, there had been no upset so far. The number 1-seeded Republic hosting this tournament were able to win today, as I mentioned. And now the 2nd-seeded Eagles will play the 3-seeded Tigers. So the right to play them on Friday, should the weather commence here. We're going to get the lineups here for you in a few seconds.
In our tournament, same holding true.
My name is Eli Dean from Nixa Live, and we will be right back here as the press box still needing those lineup cards. We'll get those to you out here in a bit before the introductions are made. I'll be right back here from Republic High School, ready for first pitch here in about 30 minutes. We'll be right back.
Nixa, the higher-seeded team, will be Republic on the scoreboard. Time now to meet the starting lineups for tonight's matchup. First of all, for the Ozark Tigers, 16 wins and 14 losses on the season. Here is their starting lineup. Leading off and pitching, number 1, Brady Dodd. First base, number 9, Cash Morgan. Batting third and catching, number 8, Cooper Buvid. In the cleanup spot in left field, number 4, Brock Dodd. Batting fifth in center field, number 11, Brock Sunley. Batting sixth in right field, number 7, Hudson Roberts. 7th for the Tigers. At third base, number 22, Gage DePay. Batting 8th at shortstop, number 3, Andrew Bauer. And at second base, they are led by head coach Justin Sunley, assisted by Daniel Mullis, Jimmy Nimmo, and Jordan Gentry. Time now to meet the starting lineup for the Nixa Eagles. 29-6 on the season. Here is their starting lineup. Leading off in center field, number 7, Wyatt Vincent. Batting second, number 2, Ron Michelle. Batting third at shortstop, number 3, Hayden Cloud. In the cleanup spot and catching, number 17, Jack Edwards. Batting fifth in right field, number 14, Reese Durpenberger. Batting sixth at first base, number 16, Tanner Grant. Batting seventh, the designated hitter, number 28, Nate Uber. Batting eighth at third base, number 12, Roden Mabe. And batting ninth at second base, number 5, Colin Essery. And pitching for the Eagles, number 6, Jackson Gamble. The umpires for the second game, Dennis Hill will be behind the plate calling balls and strikes. Ricky Hammers on the third base side, Chris Melson on the first base side.
This is where the Tigers roar. Welcome to Republic.
The Knicks are led by head coach Logan Hughes, assisted by Troy Nimmo, Michael York, Landon Kelly, Byron Hagler, and Jackson Locke.
Alrighty, welcome back here from Republic. Lineups were just announced here. We'll get those to you. There's a few mispronunciations from both sides, so we'll make sure to fix all that for you. Obviously, one of the big things here, like I mentioned in the pregame, we got a second game here in this Nixa-Ozark rivalry this year. We don't see many of those, but for the 2-seeded Eagles and the 3-seeded Ozark Tigers, it's definitely been a road of different circumstances. Eagles started the year really, really hot, were able to build themselves a winning streak, and then had a 3-game losing streak here that kind of muddied things up for them, but they were able to really pick back up that pace, finish the season on a 5-game winning streak, and then win yesterday against Central 14-1. For Ozark, their season kind of started off slower. They just barely finished the year above 500. They were kind of middling around the waters to begin the year, but were able to really build confidence towards that second half of the season, provided with a big Class 5 inter-district matchup. As the leadoff hitter for Ozark, Brady Dove comes up to the plate. Jackson Gamble on the mound for the Eagles, hoping to have some of that same success that Ethan Taylor had yesterday. And in 2 innings, he went up, 6 down. And they decided to sit him for the rest of that one, hoping to use him for either today or even tomorrow in relief. So Brady Dove, he's the pitcher and the designated hitter here for Ozark. And the first pitch from Gamble in today's matchup is going to be called a strike on the inside corner. Jackson Gamble looking up at the sky, realizing how important this game is for both sides. Winner of this game plays the Ozark Tigers on Friday in the district championship. As that one is fouled off towards the right side, it's going to be in foul territory. Lots of Eagles around it. But the first baseman, Tanner Grant, is able to make a nice catch out there in foul territory, having to move behind him midway between the foul ball pole and first base, and he was able to make that play. Reese Dernberger kind of flew over there, but Grant was under it. And so Brady Dove pops out to get this first inning started. So now it'll be the first baseman, Cash Morgan, up at the plate, the right-handed hitter. Deals in with the right-handed hitter and immediately fouls one back. And that one is going to fall right in between the press box and the seats. So fans had to run away from that one, but they're able to get out of the way. So Cash Morgan will retreat back to home plate. It'll be an 0-1 count. Eagles finished their season 29-6. Ozark finished up 16-14 on the year. Like I mentioned, had a really strong second half to build off of that. And so the 0-1 to Morgan is going to be on the outside part of the plate for strike 2. As I mentioned, Ozark won 3-2 over Kickapoo this afternoon, so there's going to be a new District 6 champion this year. Kickapoo was able to beat the Eagles in the championship last year. As that one's going to be another foul ball and just bounces around and ends up landing over a truck, bounces around a little bit. But no harm, no foul there, so we'll do another 0-2 pitch here to Cash Morgan. Gamble gets set, he kicks, fires, and that's going to be a weak contact down to the second baseman, Ussery, and he'll fire that one to Tanner Grant for out number 2 here. So 2 up, 2 down for Jackson Gamble. Now to bring up Cooper Buvid to the plate, their catcher. Buvid batting out of the 3 spot this year. He had a pretty productive season as well. Eagles have really been able to prioritize some of their hitting matchups, and as I mentioned, they were able to shut Ozark down in that game about 2 months ago here in Nixa. So Gamble takes his time. He gets the sign he wants, and the first pitch to Buvid, it's going to just be low for a ball. So now it'll be a 1-0 count now. Jackson taking a deep breath off the mound. And he throws the 1-0 as that one is lined. Wyatt Vincent, the center fielder, is under it. And it'll be a 3 up, 3 down here for the Ozark Tigers. Gamble does a nice job of getting a pop out, a ground out, and a fly out to end this inning. So it'll be the traditional Nixa Eagles lineup. Wyatt Vincent, Rylan Michelle, and Caden Cloud scheduled to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. My name is Eli Dean, and from Republic High School, no score at the end of a half. Wyatt Vincent leading it off here for the Nixa Eagles in the bottom of the first inning. Ozark went 3 up, 3 down here. And the Eagles will get their first chance here to find that offensive replication that they were able to get yesterday in a 14-1 5-inning win over Central. Bulldogs were left with a 6-run first inning to carry from, and they weren't even able to get runs until that 5th inning. So Wyatt Vincent leading off on the right side. He tends to swing at that first pitch. And the first pitch to him is going to drop in between the second baseman, the sliding attempt there. And Wyatt Vincent on the first pitch of his at-bat will have himself a leadoff single. First hit of the day by either side. Now Rylan Michelle will come up here. Michelle had a really nice successful day yesterday as he was able to put together a good one. He was a single short of the cycle. He went 3 for 4 with a double, a triple, and then had a 2-run home run in that 3rd inning. So now he gets a chance here as they're going to try to pick off Wyatt Vincent at first base, but nothing's going to do there. As I mentioned, Michelle has been able to build lots of power out of that 2 spot. Whenever Wyatt Vincent's able to get on base, that certainly gives anybody a chance. So Vincent at first, and the second pitch here is going to be a pop-up. Second baseman is under it in foul territory. There's a little bit of a circumstance, and he falls over, but he's able to make the play. The right fielder, Hudson Roberts, and the second baseman, Alex Nimmo, kind of collided there on the back. Nimmo didn't think he probably had a great shot at that right away, but was able to get it there, so it'll be a pop-out now. And so the shortstop, Caden Cloud, will come up to the plate.
Eagle batter, shortstop number 3.
It'll be Brock Dodd in left, Brock Sunley out in center field, Hudson Robertson right, and then it'll be Gage DePay at third, Andrew Bauer at short, Alec Nimmo at second base, and then Cash Morgan at first. As the first pitch, Wyatt Vincent's going to go on that one, and he's not going to be in time, but he'll make it in time. It takes him a second to get up there, so the throw's not going to be in time there, and so Wyatt Vincent will get himself a stolen base. And that was really a use of offensive production, and I can mention 14 runs yesterday, but they were able to track 4 stolen bases in that one here, and getting runners in scoring position has been a really important factor for the Eagles. When they haven't been able to get that runner in scoring position in innings, it's been really tough for them to score runs. And so the 0-1 there is going to be low for a ball to even the count. Caden Cloud up. Jack Edwards, the catcher, on deck for the Eagles. 1 out in the inning. Wyatt Vincent at second base here for the Eagles. And the 2-0 is going to be falling there for a strike. So it'll be a 2-1 count. Caden Cloud steps out of the batter's box and now gets ready here. Brady Dom, leading off for the Ozark Tigers, is also their pitcher today. And he'll check back on Wyatt Vincent before the 2-1. And that one's going to be lined. It's going to be a nice play, and it's going to drop behind the shortstop, Andrew Bauer. And they're going to hold Wyatt Vincent at third base, but they're going to send Cloud. The throw came into home plate. Caden Cloud took advantage of it and is able to get on second base there off the single. So now it'll be second and third now for the Eagles with 1 out, and Jack Edwards up at the plate, one of their RBI leaders on this team. He's had himself a really nice year, and just like that, the Eagles are able to get 2 runners in scoring position on a play that just barely got past the shortstop, Andrew Bauer. It was kind of a weird play. It almost hit sharply right into Wyatt Vincent where he was leading off at second base. He had to get out of the way, so he retrieved back to second, so they luckily not decided to send him there, and the first pitch to Edwards is way outside for a ball. Lots of Nixa fans here as well. Ozark fans just now kind of come in. They have that right side where their dugout is. But a lot more Nixa fans here tonight. The 1-0 to Jack Edwards is lined to straightaway center field. Center fielder Brock Sunley is under it. They will send Wyatt Vincent, and the throw at the plate, they're not going to make it. It's going to get cut off by the pitcher, and the Eagles will have the first run of this ball game as they take a 1-0 lead off the sac fly by Jack Edwards. So now Reese Dernberger, the right fielder, up at the plate. Caden Cloud stayed at second base on that one. And so with 2 outs in the inning, the Eagles have a chance here to respond as well. Dernberger yesterday had a really nice day. It was kind of one of the lesser sides of this lineup, but he was able to get a couple RBIs in, a sac fly. So he's done enough here lately at the right field position. He doesn't really see a whole lot of action in right field, but he's seen a lot more here. And he might see a little bit more with that wind pushing in towards the right and back. As the 0-1 to Dernberger is going to be just outside for a ball in the outside corner. So it'll even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike here for Reese Dernberger. Brady Dodd here. Dodd has seen himself, saw the Eagles earlier in the season, had a lot of success until that 6th inning. He checks back at Caden Cloud, and that one curves in on the inside. Really filthy pitch there. Reese swings and misses at that one for a 1-2 count. Reese bats from the right side, kind of crowns that plate just a little bit, so those curve balls on the inside are a little bit tough, and that's what kind of stirred him up yesterday. It seemed like the inside pitches were really what Central was trying to throw at every Nixa hitter, but Reese especially wasn't able to make great contact on those, and that one gets right behind him, and that'll hit that top helmet area. Scary scene, but he's able to get himself back up. He kind of had to dodge himself out of the way, and either it hit him in the very back of the back or just nicked the top of that helmet, but nevertheless, he's able to get on base, and we're already going to have a manager's visit for Brady Dodd now. Brady Dodd has been by far the ace of the team, but something to keep in mind, Tanner Grant, the first baseman, is up at the plate, and he hit one a mile yesterday at U.S. Ballpark in Springfield, now known as Sky Bacon Stadium, but something to keep in mind there. Tanner Grant has the power to send one out, but this field is really deep here, left to right. This field is a lot more deeper than most parks, and then especially in foul territory, there's a lot of extra room depending on where you're at. And if you compare it to Nixa, Nixa does not have a whole lot of territory after the foul line, but here at Republic, there is a lot of area for batters to run, so these foul balls that normally might be fouled back could cause some problems for both sides here. So meeting commences here, and now, as I mentioned, Tanner Grant at first base. Jack Edwards had the sac fly. So now runners at first and second here. Cloud at second. Reese Dernberger was hit by the pitch. He's at first base. And now the first pitch to Tanner Grant is a fly ball to right field, shallow though. And the right fielder is under it to retire the Nixa side. But the Eagles score 1 here in the bottom of the first off of 2 hits. And they will take a 1-0 lead here into the second inning. We will be right back.
at the plate.
Welcome
leading
back
off the
here. It'll be
second
the
for
three
left
Ozark
fielder,
Tiger
number 4,
outfielders up at the
Brock
plate
Dodd.
in this inning. Brock Dodd, the left-handed from left field. He's a right-handed hitter. And the first pitch to him is a high pop-up. Shortstop Caden Cloud is under it, and he'll make the catch for the first out of this inning.
Caught him outfield grass by
So it'll be the center fielder, Brock
Out
Suddenly.
number 1.
Hudson Roberts, the right fielder who made that last out of the bottom of the first inning, is on deck. Brock Suddenly getting a chance here. He's a multi-sport athlete. He was all-state wrestler for the Tigers. He gets his first crack out here. And the first pitch to him is a fly ball. Wyatt Vincent's going to have to run after that one, but it's going to drop really shallow. Wyatt Vincent was pulling all the way back. And so Ozark will have their first hit of the night here. Brock Suddenly with a bloop single is able to bring Hudson Roberts up with a runner on first and 1 out here in the top of the first inning. So Jackson Gamble getting set now. As righty, he's not going to pay as much attention to Brock Suddenly at first base. And that first pitch is inside for a ball. Hudson Roberts batting from the left side. So first baseman Tanner Grant is playing right up at the line. Everybody else is playing in double play position. Second pitch is outside, so it'll be a 2-0 count now. Gamble might feel a little bit flustered here. Like I mentioned, batting from the right side, so he's going to have a kind of tough atmosphere here. So the 2-0, he actually tries to do the pickoff, but suddenly he's going to be able to dive back in time now. For the Eagles, kind of traditional positioning. Rylan Michelle in left field, Wyatt Vincent center, Reese Dernberger in right field. And that one's going to be a ground ball towards the first base side, but foul. So it'll be a 2-1 count. And then Broden Mabe at third base, Caden Cloud at short, Colin Ussery at second, and Tanner Grant at first, with Jack Edwards, the catcher, catching for Jackson Gamble. Sun starting to show here a little bit more, and the 2-1 is fouled back all the way into the softball stadium to my right on the third base side. Eagles are going to go send, looks like Colin Kelly to go grab that one. Some of the bullpen kids out there grabbing those foul balls to bring them back. So it'll be a 2-2 count with 1 out here in the inning. Ozark has a runner on base, but trails here 1-0 in the top of the second inning. Gamble gets set. He kicks and fires. Swing on and miss. They're able to get him out an outside pitch, so Hudson Roberts strikes out. That'll be either side's first K of the game. So now it'll bring up Gage DePay, the third baseman.
Roberts with the strikeout for out number 2. Ozark batter, third baseman, number 22, Gage DePay.
So now the third baseman, DePay, batting from the right side. Like I mentioned, sun is really starting to become a problem. It's kind of been able to peek through the clouds here, so the entire field is of sun right now. We haven't seen a whole lot of that through this past week. It's been cloudy, and yesterday especially. So with 2 outs in the inning, Gamble sets on the 0-1. They send the runner. It's going to be close, but it's not going to be in time. Ball kind of came in towards the right side. Caden Cloud had to kind of stand in behind Colin Ussery, as that one seemed like the throw from Jack Edwards wasn't perfect. Ussery had to jump up for it, and he's able to get in there safely. So Brock suddenly advances to second base now with 2 outs for the Tigers. And so now the 1-1 is outside for a ball. Gage DePay looking to bring in the equalizing run here in the second inning. He's got himself a 2-1 count now with 2 outs. Enfield playing back. Third baseman for the Eagles, Broden Mabe, plays a lot more closer to that bag, and that one is just fouled off behind the backstop, so it'll even the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. And with 2 outs here in the second inning with a runner on second base for number 22, Gage DePay. So quite a lot of 2s going around on the field right now. Jackson Gamble's looking to mirror it up and get through this inning unscathed. Checks back on the runner. Colin Ussery moving back into his position. The 2-2 swung on and missed. It bounces off Jack Edwards. They're going to have to make a throw to first, but they're able to make the throw. And Jackson Gamble gets through the first 2 innings here, strikes out his last 2 of the second inning. Ozark strands Brock Suddenly at second base, and we'll head to the bottom of the second inning with the Eagles still holding on to that 1-0 lead.
Nate Uber.
Nate Uber will lead it off here for the Eagles in the bottom of the second inning. They hold a 1-0 lead, and it'll be the bottom three here. Nate Uber, Broden Mabe, and Colin Ussery out of the 9 spot here for the Eagles. They were able to get a run on a Jack Edwards sac fly in the first inning. Brady Dodd back out there, and his first pitch is outside. Bounces into the dirt and over the catcher, so it'll be a 1-0 count now. Colin Ussery grabbing that one. It's tradition that the batters in that hole in second due up in an inning go grab that one. And so the 1-0 is fouled back. And it'll be a 1-1 count now. That one goes over the ballpark. Look like some Kickapoo players from the previous game are wandering around. And that one's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. It's going to be a close play, but he's able to make it. And so it'll be a ground out for Nate Uber here. Shortstop Andrew Bauer, who's on deck to lead off the third inning. He made a nice play there. Fired that one into Cash Morgan, the first baseman. So now to be Broden Mabe, the third baseman for the Eagles here. As I mentioned, getting that leadoff hitter on base has proved to be pretty important for the Eagles. And it feels like they've been able to do a lot more with getting that leadoff runner on base. So in an inning like this where the leadoff runner is not able to get on here, that kind of spells some trouble for them. As that one's going to be fouled back, so quickly a 1-1 count now for Broden Mabe. Mabe's had himself a really nice year so far, been building himself and building that confidence up that we've seen from pretty much every single Nixa hitter, even if you're not playing in the district playoffs so far. The 1-1 to Mabe is fouled back on the third base side. So it'll be a 1-2 count now for Broden Mabe. Brady Dodd, the Ozark pitcher, is really good at getting 2 strikes. As I mentioned, he was able to pitch 1-run ball against Nixa through 5 innings until kind of that gas leaked, and the 1-2 is going to be fouled back, but foul. So Broden Mabe will retreat back to the plate, and it'll be a 1-2 count again. Mabe takes some time to collect himself. He was running down that line pretty hard, and you have to think on something like weak contact there. Nixa has a lot of speed on this team, proves with their stolen bases and the ability to turn a bloop into an infield single. And so the 1-2 is going to be swung on, and that one's high. That one's down to left field. He's going to get it at the warning track, and he'll make the catch. Brock Dodd right in front of the warning track was able to make that one. So it'll be a loud second out here for the Eagles. So Colin Ussery out of the 9 spot. He's the only hitter yesterday not to record a plate appearance in which he was able to get on base. He's looking to do a lot better here today. And with 2 outs in the inning, he has a chance to extend this inning for Wyatt Vincent. But he swings and misses at the first pitch from Brady Dodd here in this at-bat. Wind has kind of died down here, but still a little bit present here, and the 0-1 is fouled back. So Ussery is quickly behind on an 0-2 count now. The farther you get into these types of tournaments, the more quality pitchers you're going to see. Brady Dodd certainly is one of them here in the Ozark area. He fires for the 0-2, but that one's going to be low. That was trying to be his closeout pitch, but Ussery doesn't chase at it. So it'll be a 1-2 count now with 2 outs in the bottom of the second inning. Wyatt Vincent on deck for the Eagles, and the 1-2 from Dodd is swung on off Dodd's glove. Second baseman's going to have to make a tough play, and he's going to be out. They didn't like it. Looks like they're going to, a lot of them are saying they're off the bag. Hughes coming out. It was kind of an awkward play. As I mentioned, off Brady Dodd's glove, it kind of lowered itself. Ussery is standing at first base. They're waiting for the official call. Hughes is over there to plead his case. They're saying that the first baseman, Cash Morgan, was off the bag. And so now Hughes is going to go back here as the umpires are now going to talk about it. The umpires, 3 of the umpires standing right in front of the pitcher's mound talking. As I mentioned, Colin Ussery is still standing at first base. Ozark has taken all their players off the field here, so it's only Ussery, the first base coach that looks like Jackson Locke, and then the 3 umpires on the field right now. Nixa truly believes that Cash Morgan was off at first base. And they're going to call him safe. So they're going to call him safe. The Ozark coach is now out, and he's going to make his case. So, as I mentioned, Colin Ussery with speed is able to make himself an infield single. And now the Ozark coach is now asking why the third base coach was able to make that play. He's pointing all over the place, pointing at third base, pointing at first base. But they made the decision. Wyatt Vincent will be leading off. Ozark now coming back on the field here in the bottom of the second inning. So Cash Morgan steps off of first base on that play. A few of the Ozark fans feel their displeasure with a couple boos, but nevertheless, Ozark comes back on the field here in the bottom of the second inning. Wyatt Vincent batting here, Colin Ussery at first base. They're going to record that one as an error.
Runner at first with 2 outs for Nixa.
Nixa getting the call there, so the inning will continue for Wyatt Vincent. Ozark hoping that that mistake doesn't pay, and they immediately fire over to first base, but nothing's going to be doing. So Wyatt's waiting in for the pitch now. And the first pitch to Vincent with 2 outs in the inning is going to fall in for a strike. Anytime you can get Wyatt Vincent up at the plate with a runner on base, that could spoil some damage here. And in this instance, they're fortunate for the Eagles to get that back. So the 0-1 to Vincent is going to fall in on the inside corner for a strike as well. So much like the past couple of hitters here, Vincent is in an 0-2 hole. 2 outs in the inning. Colin Ussery at first base. The 0-2, he goes. This is going to be close, and they're going to get him at second base. So Tigers able to escape the controversy. Colin Ussery gets caught stolen at second, and so we will head to the top of the third inning. Wyatt Vincent will lead off still in that inning because that at-bat wouldn't conclude, but nevertheless, we'll head to the top of the third. Eagles still hold a 1-0 lead. We'll be right back. Andrew Bauer leading it off here. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Ozark Tigers in this inning. Here in the first inning, they're going to hold it up. Umpire wasn't in position, but seemed like Jackson Gamble and Bauer were ready for the pitch. And now Gamble gets the set to go. And the first pitch of this inning is outside for a ball. 1-0 Eagles lead here through 2. And the 1-0 to Bauer is going to be outside, but he fouls that one off. So it'll even the count with 1 ball and 1 strike here. Tigers were able to avoid a bit of unfortunate circumstances. They were able to get Ussery caught stealing after it seemed like there was a lot of conversation as that one's outside, swung on and missed by Bauer. So Ozark hopefully is able to feel like nothing really happened on that one. And so the 1-2 to Bauer is going to be high and away for a ball to even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Seemed like that outside corner, just like yesterday, is where a lot of these Nixa pitchers are going to be going. As the 2-2 is outside but fouled back. So we'll do the 2-2 again now. As I mentioned, Jack Edwards in the bullpen that came in to pitch after his 2-inning spot start were able to do a nice job of getting through. But they really succeeded on pitching to the Bulldogs' outside corner. It seemed like Central wasn't able to get to those places. As the 2-2 is outside, it's going to be a ground ball to Cloud. He's going to have to hurry. That one skips off the ground, but he makes a nice play there. Nice pick by the first baseman,
Good scoop at first by Tanner Grant.
Tanner Grant. And so it'll be a quick first out now for Ozark. Alex Nimmo, the 9-hitter and the second baseman, bats here with Brady Dodd, the pitcher, on deck. Bats from the right side. Gamble, the right-handed pitcher, comes in. And the first pitch is immediately fouled back. Just got the top of that baseball, but just could foul it back. Gamble's really good at creating weak contact. We've kind of seen that here with a couple ground rounds. They show bunt on the third base side, but that one's going to be foul. Nimmo would have certainly made it to first base there had it been a fair ball, but that one just had enough spin on it to move towards the third base line and eventually was foul about a fourth of the way down the line. So we'll do an 0-2 now. For Nimmo, though, it was definitely a scary play for an Eagles fan as the 0-2 is going to be outside for a ball. Edwards kind of bounced around for that one. We've seen kind of an uncharacteristic day from Jack Edwards so far. And then the 1-2 is going to be just high for a ball. So Alex Nimmo out of the 9 spot, getting his first crack at it here in the third inning. And the 2-2 to him with one out is fouled back right at the top of the screen. I kind of got worried about that one. But we'll do a 2-2 again. The 2-2 check swing. They're gonna say he went. He went around on that one. Alex Nimmo didn't like it here, but it'll be a strikeout and the third one for Jackson Gamble so far.
2 away.
So now Brady Dodd popped out to lead off this game for Ozark.
Pitcher, top of the order, number 1, Brady Dodd.
So 2 outs here in the inning, and the left right-handed Dodd grounds that one to third base. Diving stop. 2 diving plays, but they weren't able to get through. So Brady Dodd is able to get one through the third base play. And he's going to have himself a 2-out single to bring Cash Morgan up at the plate. Morgan 0 for 1 in this game with a ground out. But as far as these outfielders are playing here, that could have been a lot worse had the ball not been able to get shut through by it. Looked like it tipped off both of their gloves. And so they're going to send Brady Dodd, and he's going to get him. So both Nixa and Ozark have inning-ending plays at second base as Brady Dodd is caught stealing to end the top of the third. Nixa holds on a 1-0 lead. It'll be Wyatt Vincent, Rylan Michelle, and Caden Cloud. 1-2-3 for the Eagles coming up, and we'll be right back from Republic High School. Bottom of the third inning. Wyatt Vincent leading off for the Eagles. Bottom half of the third inning here. He was up at the plate at the bottom of the second inning, but gets himself a fresh count after Colin Ussery was caught stealing with 2 outs. And the first one to him is lined down the third base line, and that's going to be extra bases for Wyatt Vincent. He's going to pedal. No, he decides to stop as left fielder makes a nice play there. Brock Dodd was able to run up. He's playing really towards center field there, but he's able to cut it off. So Wyatt Vincent will settle himself off with his second single of the day. He swung at 2 pitches, and he's been able to get the ball with 2 singles. So Eagles having themselves the same script they had in that bottom of the first inning when they were able to bring Wyatt Vincent home on a sac fly. They're obviously going to be looking for more runs here. There's another pick attempt here. I believe that happened in the first inning as well. Wyatt Vincent did steal a base in that inning. So Rylan Michelle waiting for his first pitch here. He's 0 for 1 with a pop out. That one's low for a ball, so it'll be a 1-0 count. For the Eagles, they have 1 run off 3 hits and no errors. The Tigers have no runs on 2 hits and that error that extended the second inning. So Rylan Michelle now up here. He waits for the 1-0. Another fired off, and they got Wyatt Vincent stuck in a pickle. He's kind of stuck between the bases, and he's going to try to run this out to first base, and he's going to get tagged out. So Ozark's able to take advantage of Vincent being stuck between second and third there. So Vincent will be tagged out, and that'll clear the bases now. So 1 out in the inning for Rylan Michelle. Michelle has himself a 1-0 count. So the 1-0 to Michelle is outside. So it'll be a 2-0 count. Sun just now popping out again here. Sun will probably be on and off here in this game. Quite a lot of clouds here as the 1-0 is fouled back. It'll go into the stands. And it'll run around, and a few kids hoping to grab that one. And it'll be a loud foul ball here. Hits off the bottom end of the concrete. And with the stands playing as close as they are, lots of facial expressions from the Ozark side. So the 2-1 to Rylan Michelle is going to fall in on the outside corner for a strike. So it'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another kind of thing that the fans are having to deal with is the bugs. It seems like there's a lot of bugs out on this field because of the rain the past couple of days. Obviously, they've been feeding on this grass as well. Michelle watches an outside pitch go in for a ball, so it'll be a 3-2 count. Brady Dodd still in the game for Ozark. He waits for the 3-2 with 1 out, and Michelle swings and misses at that one. First strike 3. Dodd's first strikeout of the game so far. So with 2 outs and the bases cleared, Caden Cloud will be looking to extend this inning for Jack Edwards. Cloud had himself a single in that first inning and was able to advance to second base on smart base running. And really in this game, we haven't seen from either side a whole lot of smart base running. Both teams have had runners caught stealing at second base to end innings, as that first pitch to Cloud is outside for a ball. So really they're looking, obviously, as this game continues, to just get smarter base running. So Dodd gets set for the 1-0. Very similar pitch, but a little bit more inside, and that one gets called a strike. That one just nicked that outside part of the strike zone. So Cloud will get ready for the 1-1 pitch. That one inside this time, but that one will go in for a strike as well. So they go outside, outside, inside. And you'll probably see a lot of that, the guessing game type for the Eagles. When they know what's coming, it seems like they do a lot better. And that seems like what any hitter would do when they know what's coming, as that one is lined into right field for a base hit. So Cloud will have himself his second single of the day. Now with 2 outs, Jack Edwards will have himself a chance to extend this inning even further. They went inside towards the middle of the plate with that one. So they went outside, outside, inside, inside. And Cloud is able to make him pay. He probably saw 2 very similar pitches. And especially with 2 strikes, you're going to be swinging at anything there. So now Jack Edwards with 2 outs and Caden Cloud at first base. Infield playing normal depth. Outfielder, straightaway center is playing really deep. Right fielder playing shallow, and left fielder Brock Dodd is playing about medium depth. He's had to make a couple plays. He made one at the warning track as they throw one over to first baseman Cash Morgan, but nothing's going to be doing there. So Edwards will wait a little bit more for his 1-0. Waggles the bat, top, back, and they throw another one over. So Jack Edwards is going to have to wait even further here. So they do think that Caden Cloud might have a chance at running here. Both 2 outs in an inning. I doubt it at this point. The 0-1 to Edwards is going to be a ground ball to the shortstop, and he'll just step on second base to end this inning. So it'll be a fielder's choice for Ozark. They strand none. And we'll head to the 4th inning in what's going to be a really interesting game moving forward. Eagles still hold a 1-0 lead. Cooper Buvit up now, and he immediately pops this one up in the infield. Third baseman Broden Mabe is under it, and he'll be able to make the catch there.
Third baseman Broden Mabe for the out. On the high pop up on the infield.
I believe that was still Cash Morgan, though. Brady Dodd was called out at second base.
Now batting for Ozark.
So it'll be Cooper Buvin at the catcher spot batting with 1 out, and he swings and misses at that one. Gamble working with a 1-0 lead here. And he's going to check his swing on that one, but they're going to say he went around as the home plate umpire makes that call. So Buvit is now down on an 0-2 count. The 0-2 with 1 out in inning is, they're going to say he went around. Edwards fumbles that one, but fires over to Tanner Grant to make the play. So it'll be another strikeout now for Jackson Gamble.
First batter was Cash Morgan, who had the bat taken out of his hands in the bottom of the top of the 3rd.
So 4 strikeouts now for Gamble through 3 2/3. So now it'll be Brock Dodd. Dodd popped out to lead off that 2nd inning.
2-3 on the
He gets his second chance here. And he grounds that one to the shortstop. Cloud kind of has to run in. It's going to be close, but they're able to make the play. And a very quick inning for Jackson Gamble. He's able to get 2 batters out on the first pitch of their at-bats. So we'll head to a quick bottom of the 4th inning here. Eagles still hold to a 1-0 lead.
Dernberger.
Reese Dernberger, the right fielder, leading off here. It'll be Dernberger, Tanner Grant, and Nate Uber. Brock Dodd still on the mound here for the Ozark Tigers in the bottom of the fourth inning. And the first pitch is going to be outside for a ball. Winner of this game will play the Republic Tigers, the host of the district tournament this year. And the 1-0 is going to be lined in between left fielder. So Dernberger will have himself a base hit. The only contact we've seen so far from either side has been just singles. We've seen quite a lot of singles for Nixa. They got 5 base hits. Republic's got 2. And really the only opportunity we've seen from either side to extend it at bat was when Caden Cloud was able to advance to first to second on the throw to the plate. So now Tanner Grant will get himself a second chance here. He ended that first inning with a fly out. Flew out to the right fielder. So the Eagles give themselves a runner on first. The first pitch to him is going to go between the catcher's legs, and that'll allow Reese Dernberger to advance to second base. So the pass ball allows the Eagles to get a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the fourth inning. They hold a 1-0 lead, but they'd really like to get a second run. As I mentioned, winner of this game will play Republic on Friday. A couple of the Republic baseball players still in uniform standing over on the third base side, watching to see who they'll win. And that one's going to get called a strike there to even the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. For Republic, it was Gavin Beckner, the senior, that was able to get a complete game in the game a couple hours ago to eliminate Kickapoo's back-to-back opportunity. So the 1-1 is going to be lined. Trying to get him in, and they're going to send Reese Dernberger, and the throw to the plate. They're not going to make a throw, and the Eagles will get themselves an extra run here in this inning. Second baseman Alec Nimmo tried to make a nice little play, but just wasn't able to get his glove on top of it. Center fielder had to come over, and Brock Sunley just fired that one in, but didn't get himself enough, and that one was caught off by the pitcher. So it'll be an RBI single for Tanner Grant, and that'll bring Nate Uber up to the plate. Eagles now have a 2-0 lead now. Run on first, no outs. Eagles tacked 1 in the first, and they get another back here in the fourth inning. Couple more signs coming in. Uber has a Mark Teixeira-esque stance. He's got the bat tall, and he shows bunt here as that one's inside, and it's going to go just foul. If I was the third baseman there, I probably would have been a little bit more careful. Gage DePay was really close to picking up that ball before it was a foul ball, but it'll go up right about midway. It's being midway from the plate and third base there. Run on first here. Uber shows bunt again on the 1-0 and grounds that one foul as well. So back-to-back bunt attempts by Uber. That second one probably not as good as the first one he got. So now he'll have to swing for an 0-2. Really trying to advance the runners here. Tanner Grant at first base. With Ozark only having 9 more outs to go, they got to get some offense here. They're not focused on any of those outs so far. They're just focused on shutting the Eagles' offense down, which many teams this season have proven to themselves to be a struggle. Dodd waits for the 0-2 and gets his sign and pops one back. That one goes just over our heads here. I'm not in the press box. I'm besides the press box here. And there's been a couple scary ones so far, but Nate Uber will do an 0-2 again. Grant doesn't have himself a very hefty lead. He's not one of the speed threats on this team. He waits for the 0-2 as that one's outside, but Uber swings and misses at it. You got to swing at anything with 2 strikes, and they're able to throw him a nice little curveball there. It's only Dodd's second strikeout of the game so far. So that'll bring Broden Mabe up to the plate, who's 0 for 1 with a flyout.
Broden Mabe.
Mabe's had a few nice little defensive plays at third base today. And he gets set for the first pitch here as he fouls that one back into the stands. So it'll be an 0-1 count with 1 out here in the inning. Eagles have already scored a run in this 4th inning. They hold a 2-0 lead. And they throw over to first base, but nothing's going to be doing. Bottom of the 4th inning here. And the 1-0-1 is going to be just low for a ball to even the count now. It's kind of tough to see the bullpens on either side, so I won't necessarily know whenever they bring in a pitcher towards that bullpen area. But I'd assume as well as Jackson Gamble's been pitching, the Eagles aren't necessarily thinking about bringing somebody else in, as that one's high on a pickoff attempt, but Mabe swings. So it'll be a 1-2 count. People moving in and out here. We got lots of car movement here out in the outfield. There's a road behind us here. So Mabe gets set from the 1-0 from Dodd, and that one's going to be outside and low to even the count. Again, Hughes telling his batter to live another day, and that's something the Eagles have really been able to have fortunate. They've been able to get a lot of runs with 2 outs in an inning. So the 2-2 to Mabe is going to be low to, now the count's full. Looks like Hughes is telling Grant to stay at first base unless something happens here. Like I mentioned, Grant isn't necessarily known for his speed. He's a lot more known for that power he has, but he does go. And the foul ball is going to just miss a few cars, bounce over, and end up in the gravel. It's kind of a weird setup here in Republic. Parking lot kind of extends out the area. This parking lot, though, is filled with cars. I can tell you that much. And lots of Nixa fans here supporting their team. And the 3-2 again, runner goes. That one's going to be fouled back again. And so we'll do a 3-2 again now. Mabe has been able to piece together quite a lot of quality at-bats so far this year. He'd probably tell you this is his most important bat of the season so far. 3-2, they send the runner again as that one's a high fly ball. Center fielder, second baseman, shortstop, and then even the right fielder coming in for it, but it's the center fielder, Brock Sudley, who gets under that one.
Making a nice catch by Brock Sudley for the out.
So the fly out that ended up being a lot more shallow, Sudley had to track that one down from a long ways away. Like I mentioned, the wind is pretty much dead out here. There's a little bit of wind, but not anything that'd be such that would impact the game that much. And so Colin Ussery out of the 9 spot, 1 for 1 on the day with a single, and has himself a chance here to extend this inning again as he shows bunt. It's high. They throw over to first base, but he's gonna be safe. As I mentioned, Ussery got himself a single to extend Wyatt Vincent's at-bat in the 2nd inning, but was caught stealing on what I assume was trying to be a hit-and-run chance, but the pitch was a little bit high, and Vincent probably didn't want to do anything with it as Ussery swings and misses at the 1-0. Colin Ussery really building his confidence in the past couple of games, and really since that game there's another pickoff attempt. He'll get back in safely, though. Ussery has been building up a lot of that since he was taken out of the game as they throw another one over. So it's the 3rd time in this at-bat, which in Major League Baseball would not be allowed nowadays. They changed the rules to where you can have 2 disengagements as a pitcher now. So that 3rd one would count as a balk, but high school rules still follow the old MLB rules as that one falls in. A slider curveball was able to fall in on the top part of that zone. So Ussery is going to have to work with a 1-2 count. 2 outs in the inning. Tanner Grant at first base still. Eagles hold a 2-0 lead. And the 1-2 to Ussery is going to be a check swing. They send over, but he did not go. So it'll even the count. Ussery, that one was really, really close, but he was able to hold back just in time to extend this at-bat and ultimately this inning. So Ussery will get himself a 2-2 from Brady Dodd. Dodd gets the sign, he kicks, fires. That one's going to be high to keep the count full. Hughes telling Grant, do not get picked off here. Ussery waits for the 3-2. That one's going to be low, and Ussery's able to draw himself a walk. Nice job by Colin Ussery to extend at-bats, and the past couple of at-bats here have been extended. Now the Ozark manager will come out and talk to his pitcher. So Wyatt Vincent's up at the plate, and Vincent has swung at the first 2 pitches he's seen on both of these at-bats. Been able to send one right down the middle and send one to the third base side. He could have tried to stretch his second one out for extra bases, but it was a nice play by the left fielder Brock Dodd to be able to cut it off. So immediately it was kind of one of those plays that felt like it was just going to go down the line, but the grass held it up. And it kind of just ended up in between third base and the foul pole. So Vincent's going to have to wait a little bit longer before he gets his third crack at the plate here. Eagles hold a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first inning and have runners at first and second base.
Here on Game Time. This is Game Time. And home with the Republic Tigers.
Looks like they're both going to meet up as they... Hughes looks like he's probably going to make some type of substitute. I'd imagine a designated runner here with 2 outs in an inning. He's waiting to get the official call. Looks like he's gonna stand over and he's gonna talk to the home plate umpire, so we'll get some sort of change figured out.
Ozark.
In fact, we're gonna see a pitching change here. So Brady Dodd's day is over. He goes 3 2/3 innings.
Pitching for the Tigers, number 22, Gage DePay.
And they bring in Gage DePay, their third baseman, to play the to pitch. For Dodd, he goes 3 2/3 innings. He gives up 2 runs here, off 6 hits. And we will be right back here. Again, Gage DePay, the Tigers' third baseman, coming in to pitch. Eagles have themselves a chance with runners at first and second base. Back now, Gage DePay pitching, number 22 for the Ozark Tigers. Wyatt Vincent has a chance with runners at first and second with 2 outs in an inning. The Eagles have already tacked on a run here. They scored 1 in the first and 1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning to take a 2-0 lead. Tanner Grant's at second. Colin Ussery at first. And the first pitch is going to be low for a ball, so it'll make the count 1-0. And the 1-0 to Vincent is going to be inside for a ball. So it'll be a 1-1 count with 2 outs in the inning.
Brady Dodd now at second base for Ozark.
DePay checking on the runner at second. And it's going to be a ground ball to the shortstop. He's going to fire over to first, and then Eagles strand 2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning, but they get a run. And that run might prove to be important here as they'll hold a 2-0 lead here in the top of the 5th inning. We'll be right back. All right, so it'll be Brock Sundley, the center fielder, leading it off here for the Ozark Tigers.
Fifth inning, leading off for Ozark center fielder
It'll be
Brock Sundley.
Sudley, Hudson Roberts, and then Gage DePay up. The first pitch to Sundley is lined on the third base side.
First pitch,
Diving
single to left.
play, but wasn't able to get to that one. So Sudley will have himself his second single of the day. So it'll be a leadoff base runner, and that'll bring the tying runner up to the plate. Hudson Roberts, the right fielder, struck out in that second inning. Gamble's done a really nice job at limiting base runners so far. That was only the Tigers' third hit of the game, as the first pitch to Roberts is going to fall in for a strike. Sundley representing 2 of the 3 Ozark hits so far for it, so he's certainly seen the parts he likes out of Jackson Gamble. And the 1-0 is going to be fouled back to the screen. So Roberts quickly behind the count, 0-2. On deck is Gage DePay, who was the third baseman, but he moves over to pitcher. Their second baseman, Alex Nimmo, is now playing third base, and Brady Dodd, who was the pitcher, moves over as they throw the pickoff attempts, but he's going to get him back safely. So a little bit of defensive positioning changes for the Tigers. They're hoping that helps them out here to limit the Eagles from scoring any more runs. As the 0-2 to Roberts is a high pop-up. Ussery doesn't have to move much to get this one, and he'll make the catch for out number 1. So Gage DePay, the pitcher, trying to help his cause here. He's got a speedy All-State wrestler, Brock Sundley, on first base. So really anything down that line could be extra bases for him, and might even score Sundley.
Number 22, Gage DePay.
DePay waits a little bit longer, steps out, now gets back into the box. Batting from the right side. And the first pitch to him, he shows bunt down the first base side, but it'll be a foul ball. DePay in that instance trying to force the safety squeeze on him, because if Tanner Grant has to move any more forwards, it's going to be a tough play, as the third base coach for Ozark letting him know probably where to bunt that ball a little bit more efficiently. But in that instance, when you can pull the first baseman in to get the bunt as a pitcher, you got to be really careful about those types of plays, because you're going to have to get over there in a hurry if the first baseman's stuck in between the bag and he can't tag the runner out. So the 0-1, he doesn't show bunt, but it'll be a strike on the outside portion. So now DePay is now stuck in an 0-2 count once again. Gamble's been really good at getting hitters in 2-strike counts so far. He gets the sign, looks over, but he's not going to throw the ball. So he gets ready for the 2-2. Sundley waiting, and it's going to be high for a ball. So 1-2 count now for Gage DePay, the pitcher. Brock Sundley at first base, getting himself a nice little lead over there. Takes a deep breath, and they throw over, but Sundley is able to get back in time. And like we mentioned earlier in this game, Jackson Gamble, right-handed pitcher, probably isn't going to be able to see it a whole lot, as the 0-2 is going to be low. So and Edwards isn't able to find the ball, and so Edwards kind of got stuck there. I don't even think he realized the ball left his glove, but that allows Brock Sundley to advance to second base. So the Tigers have one of their few opportunities to get runners in scoring position here, and DePay's been able to extend this bat from an 0-2 count to a 2-2. Now Brock Sundley getting himself a hefty lead from second base, and the 2-2 is swung on and missed for strike 3. DePay strikes out for the second time in this game. So that'll bring the 8-hitter and the shortstop, Andrew Bauer, to the plate.
2 away here in the top of the 5th.
Bauer grounded out in his first at-bat and is getting his second crack at it here.
Batting for Ozark, shortstop number 3, Andrew Bauer.
Bauer batting from the left side, so they're playing him to pull it towards first base, although third baseman Broden May playing in very carefully to see, as it looks like on that play, especially with 2 outs, they're going to be sending Sundley on any type of contact here. So Sunley can probably get himself a nice little bigger lead, especially with Colin Ussery playing so far back. He's playing closer to first base probably than he is to second. And the 0-1 is going to be outside for a ball to even the count. Shortstop Caden Cloud giving Jackson Edwards a few signs now. Probably some signs related to where Brock Sunley is going to be located. Sunley is playing in front of him as the 0-1-1 is outside with 2 outs. So it'll be a 2-1 count. Caden Cloud is playing behind Brock Sunley. So probably a lot of that is just trying to get Brock Sunley off his game and maybe move him over. Cloud is playing directly behind the second base umpire Sunley in this. That one's going to be a ground ball to Caden Cloud. Cloud fires over to first base, and the Ozark Tigers strained a runner here. And so we will head to the bottom of the 5th inning with the Eagles still holding on to a 2-0 lead. Bottom of the 5th inning we go. Eagles up 2-0 over the Ozark Tigers. Eagles are able to bring 6 runners, 6 hitters up to the plate. They were able to score 1 in that 4th inning. So it'll be 2, 3, and 4. Rylan Michelle, Caden Cloud, and Jack Edwards for the plate. As the first one to Rylan Michelle is outside for a ball. So that one's going to fall in for a strike as well. So 1-1 count to Rylan Michelle. Gage DePace still out there on the mound. Like I mentioned, they made a pitching change with 2 outs in the inning as there's a ground ball. Second baseman fires that one over to Cash Morgan. So Michelle grounds out. So Caden Cloud is now up at the plate. Cloud has had himself a nice little day. 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles. He ripped one into center field earlier and was able to put one in down the line in his second at-bat. So he gets the chance here for a new pitcher to pay. The first pitch is going to be outside in the dirt for a ball. Jack Edwards on deck. He had himself the sac fly in the first inning. Then after him, it's Reese Sternberger and Tanner Grant, who got himself the RBI in the 4th inning, as that one's a high fly ball. Shallow, though, for the right fielder. And the right fielder, Hudson Roberts, will get under that one for the second out of this inning.
Cut by Hudson Roberts for the out.
So Jack Edwards 0 for 1 in this game. He had the fielder's choice in that 3rd inning, and then had the sac fly. And statistically, sac flies don't count as at-bats. So Edwards comes in 0 for 1 off 2 plate appearances. Edwards moves the bat from side to side, and that first pitch curves in, but it'll stay inside for a ball. Some fans setting up a couple of chairs on the right field side, watching this game for free outside of the stadium. A couple of them have been standing there for a while. So Edwards will wait for the 1-1. That one's inside, and that looks like it hit him just based off the sound, but it probably just went off that catcher's mitt. So they bring Tanner Grant over to pick that one up. So it'll be a 2-1 now to Edwards, as that one is going to be it's going to get through. No, it won't. It's going to be a high throw. And first baseman Cash Morgan is able to snow cone that one at first base. to end the inning.
Andrew Bauer spins and throws to
Nice play there
Cash
from
Morgan for the
Andrew
out.
Bauer. He was able to get
Eagles
over
go in
towards
order
the
here
second
in the
base
bottom of the
side.
fifth inning.
Was able to get Jack Edwards out at first base. So we'll head to the top of the sixth inning here. Eagles trying to hold on to their 2-0 lead to have the right to play the Ozark Republic. I'll be right back. I mean, 9-1-2 for Ozark in this sixth inning. As the first pitch to Nimmo is going to fall right in front of the left fielder, Rylan Michelle. So for the second inning in a row, the Ozark Tigers will have themselves leadoff singles. Again, through 5 innings, we haven't seen any extra base hits from either side. It's been these small types of plays. Both sides playing small ball here. And so the leadoff hitter, Brady Dodd, starting pitcher, he's been moved over to second base now. So Gamble, the runner on first. They show bunt, and it's going to be a nice one. It's a bit of confusion. Usry has to run over, and he's going to be out. Usry, the second baseman, has to run over to cover first base on that one. And those are the type of plays where you want to squeeze that first baseman to run in on it. But they're able to advance the runner on the bunt. So Cash Morgan, 0 for 2 in the game with a ground out and a pop-up. And so Nimmo at second base now. He's speedy, so anything in the outfield probably scores the speedy second baseman. And the first pitch to Cash Morgan is going to be just high for a ball. Sun beginning to set here, but still quite a lot of sun here. More shading in on the third base side. So the 1-0 to Cash Morgan is going to be inside and in the dirt for a ball as well. That side, as that one falls in for a strike to make it a 2-1 count. Looks like the dugout shared by both of the softball field on the left and then the baseball field here. So the 2-1, he shows bunt, it's popped up. They're going to advance the runner to third, and they do get the out at first, though.
They're out at first. Third to first for the putout.
So they advance Alec Nimmo as Cash Morgan does his job on the ground out, the safety squeeze bunt. Looks like the
Holding at second.
third base coach is going to talk
2
about
outs and 1
something.
on.
He confirms something over, probably discussion if he would stay under the bag or not. He confirmed that he did. Tanner Grant kind of had to stretch for that one. The throw was a little bit towards his right side, and with the ball and with the glove on his left,
Nimmo
he
at third.
worry about that. So Nimmo at third base, and that one gets behind Jack Edwards. The throw is not going to come in, and Ozark will have themselves their first run of the game here in the 6th inning as they cut Nixa's lead in half. It's now 2-1 Eagles.
2-1.
Edwards kind of having himself an uncharacteristic day behind the plate.
Batting for Ozark,
He's had a
catcher
few of them
number
get
8,
behind him, and
Cooper Bubid.
in this inning, again, it's been the little things for both sides that have been able to have successful innings, and the Tigers are able to take advantage here in the 6th inning as that one is high. He had to get himself out of the way, and before the pitch, Hughes is going to come out and talk to Jackson Gamble. This might be Jackson Gamble's day, although this might be an instance trying to stall, but I don't know how long they've had anybody warming up here. So with 2 outs in the inning, Hughes gives his starting pitcher a pat on the back. Talking to everybody on the infield now. So a 2-0 count with 2 outs here in the inning. Nobody on base after the wild pitch pass ball that was able to score Alec Nimmo, and he had been able to advance over by 2 really well-placed bunts. They're going to keep Jackson Gamble in the game now, although I have to think this would probably be his last batter. Sometimes you do things like that as not necessarily a stalling tactic, but you're just able to get your pitcher in the bullpen a little bit more time. With nobody on base here, that kind of makes things a little bit different now. So the 2-0 is fouled back directly behind us. So it'll be a 2-1 count. Gamble has still had the ability in this game to make hitters miss. Lots of swinging strikes, and even with 5 strikeouts to his name, he's done a nice job as well. So the 2-1, it's going to be inside on, it's going to fall inside the strike zone on the outside corner. So it'll be 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Ozark is able to get a run as that one's going to make the count full. They've been able to get themselves a run back here, and both games in this tournament have been decided by the later innings. Republic was able to score 2 in the 6th inning, as the 3-2 is high for a ball, and so that will advance Cooper Buvin. And so Brock Dodd will have his 3rd chance here as they bring in a designated runner, it looks like. They bring in Ethan Blanchard.
Runner at first base for Ozark.
So Ethan Blanchard is now running.
Left fielder, Brock Dodd.
So Brock Dodd, who's 0 for 2 in the game with a pop out and a ground up, gets set, and the first pitch to him is line. Diving attempt by Ussery, but it's not going to get there. Just under. He was playing probably a little bit too much towards first base, but he just wasn't able to get to it, and now Ozark has the tying run at second and the go-ahead run at first base. Things starting to unwind here for the Eagles. But with 2 outs in the inning, they're just an out away from getting out of this one. But it's been the biggest threat here for Jackson Gamble all day. Brock Sundley, 2 for 2 in the game with 2 singles. Before this inning, he had represented 2 of the 3 hits for Ozark, and he gets his 3rd chance here. With 2 outs in the inning, he swings and grounds that one to Caden Cloud. He's going to fire that one to Colin Ussery, who makes the play, and the Eagles are able to get themselves out of a jam, although they do surrender 1 run. And so heading to the bottom of the 6th inning, the Eagles will hold a 2-1 lead. We'll be right back. Reese Sternberger leading it off here for the Eagles in the bottom of the 6th inning. Sternberger, Grant, and Uber due up for the Eagles as that first pitch is inside, pops out of the catcher's glove. Looks like it hit the umpire, didn't pop out of his glove, it just hit the umpire on his left arm. They go make sure he's okay as he kind of does a little bit of a stretch. They give him some time. Catcher Cooper Buvid talking to his pitcher a little bit now. So a little bit of a pause in action, but Reese coming back to home plate. Reese checking, making sure that the umpire's okay, and he gets the sign, and now he gets the 1-0. That one's going to be outside for a strike on the outside portion. So to even the count at 1 ball and 1 strike, and now nerves from both sides beginning to linger as that one's low in the dirt for a ball. As I mentioned, probably about 2/3 of this crowd is Nixa Eagle fans. From left to center, and then there's just a little subsection of Ozark fans. So Ozark definitely showing up here for that. That one's low, so it'll be a 3-1. DePay gets the sign he wants and gets ready, and that one's low. And so Dernberger will have himself a leadoff walk.
Leadoff walk for Dernberger.
So Tanner Grant had himself the RBI single in that 4th inning that extended the Eagles' lead to 2-0. Although the Tigers were able to get one back in the 6th inning.
First baseman Tanner Grant.
The Eagles were up by 1 run in the last game these two saw, and it was a very similar situation. They did take out Dodd a little bit sooner than that one. He had pitched a portion of that 6th inning. Eagles were up 1-0 going into the bottom of the 6th inning and struck the Tigers for 6 runs to really rip that game open. So Dernberger waits at first base, and the first pitch to him is going to be a tough play. It's going to be, he stepped off the bag. Third baseman fired to the second baseman, but it was kind of an awkward play. He had to kind of get to his knees, and from his knees he threw it over. So everybody is going to be safe for the Eagles.
Dernberger at second.
And on the error, that's going to bring up Nate Uber with runners at first and second.
Error on the throw from third. And the next batter now, designated hitter, number 28, Nate Uber.
So Uber in this game 0 for 2 as Ozark manager comes out and talked to his pitcher. The difficulty about that one, he threw it from his knees, and as a third baseman, Nimmo, who was moved over from second base to third base when they made the substitutions earlier, just trying to make the good play, and just from his knees has to make a really, it could have taken a really awkward bounce and bounced over him, so he's lucky that he was able to keep the ball in front of him. But in that instance, it's probably a smart idea just to get up and throw the ball to first base, but he likes to throw it to second, and the shortstop, Bauer, just couldn't get there in time and took his foot off the bag. So they're going to let DePay finish, at least get through one more at-bat here. Runners at first and second for the Eagles. It's Dernberger and Tanner Grant on the base paths with Nate Uber at the plate. Uber has kind of solidified this designated hitter spot. Kind of had to fight through it a little bit, and he was telling me a couple days ago that this Eagles team is really prepared for these bigger games. They've been able to accelerate and add momentum to their season. And they certainly did so yesterday with the 14-1 win over Central. Ozark was able to get a 7-1 win over Joplin to advance to play today. As they throw the ball over, kind of a play shortstop was run off. That play was designed for the second baseman to go grab it. Everybody's back in time though. Catcher giving a few signs out to his shortstop and his second baseman. So Uber will still wait for the first pitch of this at-bat. DePay taking a long time to get the sign he wants, and he checks back on second. Now he gets ready for the first pitch. Uber shows bunt, but it's outside for a ball. Ozark One run off 5 hits and 2 errors for Nixa. 2 runs off 6 hits and no errors. They have a chance to extend their lead here with runners at first and second, nobody out. Uber shows bunt, it's high. There is a throw, and it's going to get into center field, but it's not going to do much. Dernberger was still trying to get up by the time that ball was coming over. Brock Sunley did a nice job of really hustling from center field to get that one from medium depth. So everyone will stay where they're at. And Uber's shown bunt twice, but has pulled back twice. And he waits for the 2-0. Shows bunt again, and that one's going to be a foul ball. Looks like it hit off just the very bottom part of that bat. So it'll do a 2-1 count. Eagles trying to add on to their lead here before Ozark gets their 3 outs in the top of the 7th inning. An extra run here would really help that momentum and give what's been an uneasy crowd a little bit more of relief. Uber shows bunt again before the 1-2 and pops it up. But it's going to be foul and just a little bit more. So it'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now Uber's not going to be trying to bunt here. You've seen Ozark do a really nice job at advancing runners in that 6th inning. They had the runner at first as Hughes is going to take some time as he's going to talk over to Nate Uber. For Ozark, their run came off of Nimmo led off that inning with a single. Dodd and Cash Mooring did a really nice job at advancing the runner over. With 2 outs, there was a walk by Cooper Buvid, and a wild pitch allowed Alec Nimmo to score from first. So leadoff single advanced the runners to second and third, and then he scored on the wild pitch. So when you think about it here, bunting is going to be really important in a 1-run game. Uber's not going to bunt here on the 2-2 as he gets that one inside, but it'll be strike. Just the 2nd strikeout of the game from Nix for Uber in this one. As that one gets looking, and there's 1 out now for the Eagles. DePay doing a nice job of settling down after putting the leadoff runners on base. And so now Broden Mabe has a chance here, 0 for 2 in the game with 2 flyouts. Mabe just looking to get one in the outfield, though. He gets wet, and that one's going to be dropping in the dirt for a ball. Kind of rolled over towards the third base side, but catcher did a nice job of getting up and grabbing that one. So 1-0 count with 1 out. Reese Sternberger at second. Tanner Grant at first, advancing on the error. Mabe waits, and the 1-0. It's going to be inside in the dirt for a ball as Buvid's going to come out and talk to his pitcher DePay once again. So with the 2-0 pitch now, they're going to talk about it a little bit here. Probably just some miscommunications with the signs. Both of those pitches in the dirt. So they're waiting for their chance here. This game started at 6:30. It's just now hitting the hour-and-a-half point, and it's been a good one. The 2-0 is going to be high, but foul into the seats. Over to the right side of the bleachers. So it'll be a 2-1 count. Bird Mabe looking to crack through, as I mentioned, the third baseman 0 for 2 on the day with 2 flyouts. Looking to line one or put something on the ground in the outfield that could score Dernberger to get the Eagles that run back that was scored against them. They hold a 2-1 lead, and the 2-0 hits them. And with that hit by pitch, it'll load the bases for Colin Ussery. Ussery 0 for 1. He reached on the error that extended that second inning. Cash Morgan just couldn't stay on the bag. There's a little bit of miscommunication from everybody. Ozark ran off the field. Ussery stayed on first. And ultimately they reversed the call. It looks like they're going to make a change here. So Ussery isn't going to be the one to bat. And it looks like they're going to bring, I believe that's Mason Eagleberger up. And yeah, so they're going to bring Mason Eagleberger to pinch hit here for Colin Ussery.
Pinch hitter for second baseman Colin Ussery. Now batting for the
So with the bases loaded and 1 out for the Eagles, Mason Eagleberger will bat here for a chance to extend the Eagles' lead going into what will be a very pivotal top of the 7th inning. The first pitch to Eagleberger is low, but the runners are going to stay, and it'll be a 1-out count. There's nowhere to put Eagleberger on the base pass. Reed Sternberger at third, Tanner Grant at second, and Broden Mabe at first base. The 1-0 to Eagleberger hits him, and the Eagles will score a run off the hit-by-pitch. Back-to-back hit-by-pitches by DePay, and the Eagles will get their run back against them in that 6th inning, and they'll extend their lead for 3-1 now. And they're going to bring Colin Ussery to run for Mason Eagleberger, so Ussery will stay in the game as a designated runner. Eagleberger does his job and gets a run in. And so now Wyatt Vincent with the bases loaded and 1 out in the district semifinal. Winner of this game plays Republic on Friday.
First base for Mason Eagleberger.
Probably one of the MSU commit gets set, and the first pitch to him is going to fall in for a ball. There's nowhere to put Wyatt Vincent either. So DePay gets ready for the 1-0. That one's low as well for a ball. DePay might have lost a little bit of confidence. Back-to-back hit by pitches. But he struck out Nate Uber, so you have to think there's still a little bit here that he can get out of this inning. Bases loaded with 1 out for Wyatt Vincent. And he gets the 2-0 and sings that one straight left field. Left fielder coming in. He's going to get under it and make the play. And he dropped the ball. He drops the ball. They're going to get the out at third, though. So on the dropped ball, it's almost as if it's a sacrifice fly, but the runners move up. Really weird play. The left fielder, Brock Dodd, was under it, and it could have been disastrous for Ozark, but they're able to at least get an out at third base. And so Rylan Michelle will come up. Broden Mabe at second. And the first pitch to Michelle is foul tipped for a strike. So Michelle with runners at first and second. Ussery at second. Vincent at first. Eagles have a 4-1 lead now. So that pitch is outside for a ball.
Eagles batter, left fielder, Rylan Michelle.
So the 1-0, Rylan Michelle watching. Eagles have been able to score 2 runs in this inning to take a 4-1 lead. Michelle gets ready and waits for the 1-0. So that one swung on and missed to even the count. Now at 1 ball and 1 strike. Eagles, bottom of the 6th inning, have runners at first and second base, and they hold a 4-1 lead. Michelle waits. He gets set for the 1-2. 2 outs in the inning, and he lines that one, and that's going to drop. They're going to send Colin Ussery. Ussery will score, and the Eagles will put their third run here in the 6th inning, and they will extend this lead to 5-1. RBI single from Rylan Michelle. And the Eagles have once again ripped a game open in the bottom of the 6th inning against Ozark. They did the same thing when they held a 1-run lead. They were able to plate 6. And they've been able to get half of that here in the district semifinal against Gage DePay and the Ozark Tigers.
RBI single by.
So Caden Cloud will come up 2 for 3 on the day with 2 singles. Again, it's been singles for both sides. There hasn't been a single extra base hit in this ball game by either Ozark or Nixa. It's been the little things from both sides, and the Eagles with 2 hit by pitches in this inning. I've been keep this inning alive even further than what they needed. So that one's low for a ball to make it a 1-out count. DePay is going to just have to get out of this inning. It's been a struggle so far. He led off this inning with a leadoff walk. And that'll advance another runner into scoring position here for the Eagles.
With 2 outs.
Michelle at second, Wyatt deck, Tanner. And now Caden Clown's 2-1 is low as well, so it'll be a 3-1 count. First base is open. They might be just trying to play for the force out here, but obviously with 2 outs, any out is a good one. So Cloud waits for the 3-1. DePay gets the sign. He kicks, fires, and it's going to be a pop up. Shallow left field. Left fielder gets under it, and he'll make the catch. But the Eagles are able to tack on 3 here going into a pivotal top of the 7th inning. 3 outs away from playing Republic on Friday. But they're up 5-1. We'll be right back.
Ozark. Hitter in the lineup, the right fielder, number 7, Hudson Roberts.
Hudson Roberts up here representing the Tigers. Last 3 outs here. It'll be Roberts, Gage, DePay, and Andrew Bauer, the right fielder, third baseman, and the shortstop, as that one falls in for a strike to make it a 1-1 count. Jackson Gamble trying to complete this game for the Eagles. They gave him 3 extra runs of support. The 1-1 is outside for a ball as well. 2-1 count for Hudson Roberts. Right fielder 0 for 2 in the game with a strikeout and a pop out. He waits for the 2-1 from Gamble and fouls that one back down the first base line. Winner of this game will play Kickapoo. Sorry, they'll play Republic. Republic beat Kickapoo today. There might be some rain on Friday as well, so that game more than likely, I think they'd reschedule that one to Saturday, but it just all depends on what the schedules meet up. So they're hoping to get that game in on Friday at 5:30. So that one's low to keep the count full at 3-2, and that one is fouled back. So we'll do the 3-2 again. Gamble's done a nice job here at getting himself in successful situations. Really the only stress he's had is when Ozark in that 6th inning was able to make a runner go from first to third with just bunts. And so they're 3-2. They're going to hold back. Umpire wasn't ready for it. Gamble was already kind of winding himself up. Now he winds up to Roberts, and the 3-2 is a liner down the first base side, and that one's going to drop in. And so Ozark will have themselves a leadoff single here. So it'll bring up Gage DePay, the pitcher, who's closed out the last couple innings of this one.
The batter for Ozark, pitcher, number 22, Gage DePay.
Gamble doesn't like the ball he was given, so he hands it back to Edwards, who swaps it out with the umpire and now gets him a ball he likes. Ozark with a runner on first base would need to plate 4 in this inning to tie and 5 to take the lead. They trail 5-1 now in the top of the 7th inning. The first pitch is low for a ball. Edwards, good job keeping the ball in front of him. Gamble pitching from the right side probably isn't going to pay much attention to that runner at first, so I wouldn't be surprised if they send Roberts on the probably more likely a catcher's indifference here, as that one's high as well. Gamble didn't like the call, but he was a little bit flustered about that one, but it'll be a 2-0 count now to Gage DePay. DePay waits from the right side. Roberts gets the sign, and that one's going to fall in on the outside corner for a strike. It's a 2-1 count. Sun has set. There's not much sun out here, but no shades to worry about. And the 2-1 is swung on and missed, so it'll even the count now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. On deck after DePay is Andrew Bauer, 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts, and the bottom of this order just hasn't done a whole lot for the Tigers. It's been the top of the order that's done all the damage, and so that one's fouled back into the bullpen. So it'll keep the count at 2-2. It's been the top of the lineup that's done a lot of this damage, even probably the middle part that's done a lot of it. Brock Sunley with 2 hits on the day. Dodd has himself a single. Brock Dodd's been able to get on base a few times, and so this bottom of the lineup's going to have to step it up here for Ozark if they want to extend this game. The 2-2 is just high. Some oohs and ahs from the crowd as they didn't like the call on that one, but it'll keep the count full now at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ozark needs to get a few runners on base to create the rally that they need. And the 3-2 is going to be low and away for a ball. So Ozark's first 2 batters this inning will reach, and that'll bring Andrew Bauer up with nobody out. Tying run now advances to the on-deck circle. That's Alec Nimmo. As Logan Hughes is going to come out to the pitcher's mound. We might see a pitching change here to just get a fresh arm. It's the first visit of this inning, though, so probably just trying to talk it out. They have a 4-run lead and 2 runners on base. Just trying to create some type of situation for the Tigers, just trying to keep this momentum alive. They scored 1 in the 6th inning, and while this game would look a lot different without the 3 runs from Nixa, including the 2 errors by Ozark in that inning, Ozark just trying to do with what they have in front of them. They have runners at first and second base. Hudson Roberts at second. Gage DePay, the pitcher, at first, with Andrew Bauer, the shortstop, at the plate. Bauer 0 for 2 with 2 groundouts on the day in the 2nd and 4th inning. And gets his chance here. Ozark 1 run off 6 hits and 3 errors. Nixa 5 runs off 8 hits and no errors. And the next 3 outs are all these teams care about.
Shortstop number 3, Andrew Bauer.
Gamble looking back on the runner on second and fires in for a strike. Bauer batting from the left side. Third baseman for Nixa, Broden May, playing. That is where you normally see him. Grant, the first baseman, playing behind the runner at first. Infield and double play depth on the 0-1 as that one's popped up. Wyatt Vincent has to run over. The play is actually going to be made by Rylan Michelle, the left fielder. That one flew into left center field. So that's 1 out now for the Eagles. Alex Nimmo, the 9-hitter, up at the plate, singled in that 6th inning.
Runners at first and second, 1 out for third baseman number 21.
And struck out in the 3rd. Gamble getting a few signs from Caden Cloud at shortstop. With one out here, Eagles hold a 5-1 lead in the top of the 7th inning. Gamble gets set, and the first pitch to Nimmo hits him. So it hits Nimmo to load the bases, and now the tying runner in Brady Dodd is at the plate. Brady Dodd is the leadoff hitter for a reason because he can get on base, and he's pretty good at it. He started this game off and did as well as he could. 5 2/3, 2 runs off of just
second baseman number 1,
6 hits.
Brady Dodd.
So Dodd at the plate representing the tying run. Watches that one fall in for a strike. Gamble just trying to settle down and at least get the last 2 outs of this game. He waits for the 0-1, and that one's going to get called a strike on the outside portion. So it'll be an 0-2 count now with 1 out in the inning. Dodd waiting for the pitch that he likes. He gets the 0-2, and that one's high and inside for a ball. Gamble focused on the hitter at the plate. Gets ready to the 1-2 to Dodd, outside for a ball. Evens the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Dodd just trying to extend this game and presumably score a run for Ozark here. The 2-2 to Dodd is fouled back and will do it again. Gamble has the facial expressions of someone who's tired but needs to get out of it. It's his responsibility here now. They've already used their manager visit, so another one would bring in a new pitcher. The 2-2 to Dodd. Inside, but they're going to get the call. Called strike 3. On the inside portion, Dodd stood there frozen, and they get the pivotal second out here of the inning. And that brings Cash Morgan up to the plate 0 for 3 in this ball game, with the Eagles trying to get out of this one. Ozark's built a little bit of a rally here. Bases loaded with 2 outs, but they trail by 4. The first pitch to Morgan is outside for a ball. Gamble gets set, and the 1-0 is just high for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes, nowhere to put the first baseman, Cash Morgan, on the base pass. Jackson takes a deep breath, kicks, fires for the 2-0, and that'll fall in on the inside portion for a strike. Gamble tosses the ball around, takes another deep breath, and gets set for the 2-1 to Cash Morgan. And he gets to the strike right down the middle. Morgan wasn't going to swing at that one. And now the Ozark Tigers are down to their final strike. Roberts at third, Gage DePay at second, Alex Nimmo at first. Cash Morgan at the plate with 2 outs. Swings and misses. They're going to have to throw it over. They tag first. They tag home plate. And the Nixa Eagles, it's a complete game for Jackson Gamble as they will win in advance. They win 5-1 over the Ozark Tigers, and they will advance to play Republic on Friday. It's a good season from the Ozark Tigers. They do enough to get themselves in a good position, and they ended their season on a high note with a few rallies here, but are just unable to build one strong enough tonight. Nixa is able to do the little things for both sides. No stolen base, no extra base hits. Gamble ends his day with back-to-back strikeouts and is able to strand the bases loaded. For the Eagles, they will continue their season and win their 30th game of the year, advancing their record to 30-6. And Ozark will finish their season at 16-15. So we'll be back here on Friday. Seniors have already graduated. They're going to graduate at Great Southern Bank on Sunday. But they're going to be looking to extend their year and get through the hump of losing in the district tournament. Last year they lost to Kickapoo in the championship, and they will be playing Republic this year who they lost to in defeat at this same field just a few weeks ago.
May the 19th.
My name is Eli Dean. It was a good one here. Nixa wins and advances in the district tournament, and we'll see you on Friday here in Republic. Have a good night, everyone.